What's up, everybody? Matt Gajewski here, back again with the Odd Shopper channel. And today we're talking some Week 8 XFL bets. We're going to talk the Saturday slate. Before we get started, make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all other content goes live. If you're listening on podcast, please leave a rating and review over there as well. And we are brought to you by Bet365. They have a phenomenal offer for you guys where you can make your first deposit, place a $1 wager on any market, and you are automatically going to be paid out $200 in the form of bonus bets. Those bonus bets are added to your bonus bet balance. Terms and conditions apply. The legal age for gambling in most states is 21 plus. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. This is only available in New Jersey, Colorado, Ohio, and Virginia. All right, we had a pretty good week last week. Opening up some of the XFL betting was on the Guardians, which was nice. Actually upset the Defenders. I didn't have them on the money line, but had a little bit of a wager on the Guardians as an underdog. That one came through. So it's a pretty good week overall, and we'll move forward this week where the first game we have is the Vegas Vipers taking on the St. Louis BattleHawks. Right now, the spread is 7 and the total is 46. I'll say right away, this isn't my favorite game to bet. It's actually the only one of the four I don't have a wager on yet. But this is a rematch of 2 weeks ago where St. Louis actually stomped the Vipers 29-6. And I don't really see it going much different here, especially with what the Vipers have done at quarterback since then. They traded away Luis Perez, which left them with Brett Hundley and Jalen McClendon. Apparently, they've been so displeased with Brett Hundley that they just flat out started Jalen McClendon over him last week. Now, McClendon actually played decent in his place, completed 21 of 31 passes for 264 yards and a pair of scores. But that also came against the Brahmas, who were one of the worst teams in the league. And apparently they weren't satisfied enough because they went out and they signed D'Angelo Fulford off the street, who's a graduate of Mount Union, I do believe. But this could mean bad news for Brett Hundley. Maybe he gets cut. Are they going to continue the revolving door at quarterback? I think the answer could be yes here, which is not good against St. Louis, who's one of the better teams in this league. They're 5-2. After they demolished the Vipers 2 weeks ago, they beat a good Roughnecks team, 24-15. They do not have quarterback controversy. They have A.J. McCarron, who's top 3 QB in this league, 6.6 yards per attempt, 66% completion percentage. And I think across the board, they have the advantage at the skill position players. Brian Hill's a feature back. He's one of the best backs in this league. They have Hakeem Butler, who's the best receiver at this point. They have Darius Shepard, who's a former NFL product. They even got Marcel Aitman back from injury to complement Austin Prellett receiver. This is an awesome team overall, and I don't see how Vegas is really going to keep up in this spot. Vegas is the worst defense in the entire XFL. They're dead last in yards per attempt allowed through the air, 7.6 yards per attempt going against McCarron. That's not great. And they're the second worst run defense. Only St. Louis has been worse, who is averaging 5.3 yards per attempt against, but Las Vegas is allowing 4.3 yards per attempt against. And I don't have any confidence that Las Vegas can run the ball here. So to me, I don't know how this team scores. I think if you're looking at the game overall from a betting perspective, honestly, I just missed the best line. You could have got St. Louis -5.5. They're now -7. If you're not comfortable with that heavy number to lay, I think you could look towards the under here. I think St. Louis is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting themselves. Vegas has basically been a revolving door at quarterback since the first game, and they only scored 6 points in that game to begin with. I think the BattleHawks defense holds up here. So under is going to be my preferred play. Toying around with playing it, we'll see if we end up with that on the official card. One we do have on the official card is the Orlando Guardians taking on the Arlington Renegades. I took this as a pick'em. We're going to continue back in the Guardians, and we'll talk about why. But the current spread is -1.5. I have no issues with this. I think it should be closer to 3. So I'll hold my pick'em, but if you want to take 1.5, I see no issues. The total in the game is 42.5. This is a similar spot right now where Arlington has severe quarterback problems. If you want to look at what this roster has been, they started the year with Drew Plitt. He played so poorly that they benched him for Kyle Sloter, who a lot of people liked in the USFL for some reason. He I think led the league in yards, but he also led the league in interceptions. He wasn't good. And he was so bad that they cut him. Since then, they've started Kevin Anderson and Drew Plitt again. They went out on the street and they signed Kelly Bryant, who you may remember from Clemson and Missouri. And they also traded for Luis Perez, who we talked about earlier on that Vegas team. Luis Perez has now been with the team for about 10 days. My guess is that he gets the start here, but we're still talking about 10 days in an offense which has been terrible. They don't have a single receiver outside of Sal Cannella running a route on more than 50% of the dropbacks. They've lost a bunch of running backs. They basically thrust Letty Brown straight off the street into a timeshare with Davion Smith, whose best skill set, I guess, has been slamming into the back of his offensive line without getting injured. The offense hasn't been able to score points whatsoever. It has been, I think, the weakest offense in the entire league. Last week, they scored 12 points. Excuse me. That was San Antonio. Last week, Arlington scored, let's see here. Where's their team? 15 points, so not much better. The week before, they scored 9. The week before that, they scored 10. The week before that, they scored 11. They haven't scored 20 points since early in the season. We're going on a month now with no more than 15 points for this Arlington team. Meanwhile, the Guardians, they were kind of in this spot to begin the year, this quarterback purgatory. They had the controversy with Quentin Dormady. He wasn't even with the team for a bit of time. Now he's back, and he's playing like the best signal caller in the league. We just saw them upset DC, the formerly undefeated DC Defenders. Dormady averages 7.9 yards per attempt, a 69% completion percentage. Both those are the tops of the XFL. The only issue is he doesn't have the same sample size as some of these other quarterbacks. So does he regress? I think there's a chance, but he's been so electric with this team and putting up so many points that I think we want to continue to buy the Guardians. And we've been saying this for a while now. They're 1-6, but they lost to the Vipers by 3 early in the year when they had quarterback issues. They lost to the Renegades by 1. In week 6, they lost to Seattle 26-19 in a competitive game. And then they came back and they beat DC. Right now, with Dormady playing as the best signal caller in the league, a little bit of rushing chops, I think we can back into some scoring production here, especially considering I think they have the better receivers. They have Cody Latimer, former NFL player. They have Eli Rogers, former NFL player. You have Charleston Rambo, good college player. And how much have we even really seen of KD Cannon? They signed him off the street. They lost Lance Lenoir, which doesn't help. But I think the skill position players are still better for the Guardians here than their opponent. So right now on defense, I think it comes down to, can Orlando actually play well enough to hold their opponent here? I think they can. They're the second worst pass defense. They're the third worst run defense. But if you look on the other side, they're facing the worst offense. So something's got to give. I'm going to back the Guardians here as a pick 'em, -1.5. All of it is fine to me. Let me know in the comment section what you think about these picks. We'll be back again tomorrow breaking down the following 2 games on Sunday. But I would love to hear anything you guys have to say in the comments. If you'd like to reach out, I'm at Matt_Gajewski. Always willing to chop it up there. And until next time, good luck, everybody. We'll see you then.